Welcome back to the 2025 USAFL National Tournament, live from Tucson, Arizona at the Kino Sports Complex, South Field. Broadcasting on AussieRulesUSA.com. Second round of the games this morning. This is a semifinal match, so that's a prelim in Aussie parlance. Both these teams coming through after their pool play yesterday. Seattle Grizzlies top of Pool A with 2 victories over the Dockers, Baltimore Dockers and the Los Angeles Dragons. The DC Eagles finishing second in their division. 1 loss to the San Diego Lions, but beating the Austin Reserves yesterday. So this is top of Pool A versus number 2 in Pool B. The Grizzlies and the DC Eagles about to ball up here. Joining me this morning, I'm Dan Sarbacher, is Jason Becker. Heavily involved in the USAFL for well over 2 decades, so appreciate having you on board this morning, Jason.
Good to be here, Dan. The dew is off the lily here at the 10 o'clock game, and we're underway. First fight so far.
Yeah, so winner here goes on to the grand final, the decider this afternoon. Again, a semifinal match here for all the Yanks listening. A semifinal for all the Yanks and a prelim for all you Aussies listening. Those are the stakes. Big switch of play there for Seattle. Change their point of attack. Leads into the forward line. Dropped. DC collects in the back pocket. Scuttled along the ground with the foot. Collected by Seattle. Big booming kick into the goal square. Big fly from 12 there of Seattle. Shoshana.
Oh, he had a snap and didn't quite connect the way he wanted to. That was right at the back post. He may have scored, it may not have.
Shoshana, the smaller of the 3 players in that contest, and he was 1-on-2, but he was the one that made the best effort and got hands to it, but in the end didn't come down with the ball. He's going to have a throw up in the pocket. We're just waiting for the boundary umpire coming around right now.
I think it hit the point post for no score, and then they're going to go throw it in. I really liked your comment about that lateral kick to the top of the 50, really trying to change the angle going in. Didn't quite hit the forward lead. But
boundary throw a little flat, comes all the way across the 50, across the face of the goal square. Now a clearing kick by DC. Good courage there by the Eagle to try fly back with the flight of the ball. He didn't know what kind of traffic was coming. He didn't care. Seattle smothers that exiting effort. Oh, we've got a back injury here on 4. Awkward tackle. Legs got pinned underneath. He bent over awkwardly backwards. We're going to take a look at that. That's number 4, Max Rennie. It'd be a big loss for Seattle. He's their captain, Max. In a fair bit of pain.
Another quality entry from Seattle, but he paid the price.
I'm no doctor, but was just having a conversation with Jim Martin last night, and his 15-year-old boy who wrestles and plays rugby, dealing with a stress fracture from what sounds like an incident almost exactly like that. Max on his feet here. We'll keep an eye on him. He's sore. DC building up off the far boundary now. Kick to kick, 53 on the mark there. That was Riley Naughton. Riley continues up the boundary, attempting to take territory. Seattle intercepts with hands, but again, DC quick on it. So bit of back and forth here early.
DC moved it up the ground relatively quickly against the slight breeze that we have.
So during that injury, neglected to mention, there was the behind. So 0-1-1 for Seattle at this point. The Watch AFL scoreboard again, 0-1-1 Seattle over DC Eagles early in the first half of this semifinal, also known as a prelim final. Umpire's coming over and wants it. That was tied up. Players untangle here.
By Austin Cox, DC had the exit block.
Go, baby! That's fine, play on. All over the boundary here, we'll have a ball up. So Jason, from what you've seen early, what do these teams need to do here to put a nose in front in this contest?
I really like what you said earlier about trying to change the angles and go lateral, improve your chances of getting an uncontested possession from the forward line. So both teams pretty skilled.
A very clever mark there, DC down in the pocket. Looks, well,
trying to claim it.
Umpire said he was juggling it, so we're going to have it for a boundary throw. Great effort, diving catch You'd really have to look at the replay to understand if he made it clean or not. Umpire didn't think so, so we had the ball up throw there. Seattle trying to work out of the back. Clever hands. They are working through 96. That's Douglas Fitzpatrick.
Really good running play.
Umpire's paying it 8-50 now, so Fitzpatrick will come forward to have this next kick. Didn't see the signal on what the infraction was. You can assume it was something like over the mark. And a wonderful delivery. So crossing field there, the lead out to the fat side from 57. That's Curtis.
That's exactly what we were talking about with the skilled players and trying to get an uncontested mark in the forward line, and they just did it.
Fitzpatrick, excellent there. Collected that ball on the halfback, took that mark, used the infraction and the gained yardage for it, and then Curtis on the lead. He'll have a shot on goal here. It looks like he's pushed it left, and it has. It stayed left. So big, tall, full forward there, Curtis, and a lefty. Well, not quite able to steer that in for a major score. I'd add to your analysis earlier too, Jason. It looks like Seattle has a height advantage as you look around the ground. All the key position players seem to be an inch 2 or 6, and Curtis's example taller.
They've always had a little height, and that was just kind of walking by them yesterday, and I thought, oh my goodness, I'm in the land of giants.
Yes.
Where they found them or grew them, but they're some tall boys.
Some tall timber, like the trees out in the Pacific Northwest. They grow tall and fast.
Let's get a lot of water.
I think that's it. Good moisture. So they expect more of an aerial game from them. DC Eagles giving up the height advantage. If they can get it done on the ground is probably where they'll be more successful. And a good example of that there, picking the ball up in traffic in the pack and a quick 20-meter kick, but getting on the other end of it. Targeting the lead here to number 4. That's Quadri Williams there, and DC again on the ground, looking to travel with the handball. Little flip kick inside 50. They're going to pay that downfield, I think, on the sling.
A little bit of a late hit. No harm, no foul in terms of chippiness, but it did get paid downfield, as you said. The number 12 for Seattle, Chaichana, I think is how he's listed. I'm sure he's got a cooler nickname than what I'm giving him credit for. One of the smaller guys on the ground, but they work out of defense really well through him.
Thomas Matthew with the goal attempt here, and he's got plenty of leg on it. Get it sail through though or drift right? Looks like it's drifted right. It was a big effort from him. That kick released from outside the arc, and he was kicking over a tall opponent in Seattle, but Seattle have the goal kick here.
Right curl back the way he wanted, but
so Seattle to kick out here. The fullback surveying his options. He runs forward 5-8 meters and then releases to the near side right in front of our broadcast, Jason. One of the big men, very good on the ground, bending over to pick it up. That's what you love to see from your big men, is that versatility.
There's Chachi on cue.
Quick feet, quick turn. He hit that pack with good pace.
He hit his teammate on the ball, just didn't catch it.
William Lack there on the receiving end of another 20 to 25 meter kick. So DC doing things really well. They're not getting into a big aerial contest like we talked about, Jason. They're playing to their strengths. They're keeping their eyes lowered, shorter kicks, and they've been able to connect them 20, 25 meters and then doing the work on the ground. So that's keeping them competitive.
Yep, they're just trying to keep possession of it. Very fast style of play. You see, when they get it, they can move it quickly as well.
Going to the Watch AFL scoreboard. 0-22 to 0-1-1 right now. Seattle leading. Had it just a little too long, did Fitzpatrick, and the defender held on, hung on. Fitzpatrick not able to get hands away, no options for him, so he held it too long. Let's see, Bernardo Berges on the tackle there, and he'll look to deliver. It'll probably be a forward 50 entry for them here, the DC Eagles, and they're knocking on the door. Big booming kick. 3 bodies fly, 2 of them were Seattle. DC ties it up on the ground. Great result for them. Seattle would have preferred to mark that.
It's a lot of pressure now in the forward end for DC. Seattle doing everything they can to stop the scoring and get it back out again.
Watch his head, knock it out if you can.
The ball up.
Ball up here in the inside 50. That was kicked off the ground. Looks like it's through for a goal. DC's going to celebrate that. It's a great effort. Couldn't see in the whole mess of bodies that were there. I don't even know how he found an opening. Who actually was able to put boot to ball there, but from about 25 out, just a soccering style kick through for a goal.
Yeah.
And that's the first major on the board of the morning here.
We'll catch that on replay. Somehow the ball found its way rolling across the goal line there.
Yeah, so well struck, and the goalkeeper none the wiser, completely screened in that play. So to the Watch AFL scoreboard, 0-2-2, Seattle trails 1-1-7 DC Eagles. DC getting a little bit better of the play at this point. They're really playing effectively against Seattle's height. Keep in mind, DC finished second in their pool, so they're number 2 out of Pool B, playing number 1 out of Pool A, Seattle.
DC doing well to claw back into this game. They're coming in into the
forward 50 entry, but that's an errant kick. Seattle plays on quickly there. Big booming kick forward, and that's playing to the strengths of Seattle, but DC is the one that gets underneath it. We're going to have a rebound here. Switch of play over to the near side. The wing is open here in 4 through Quadri Williams. He delivers forward, turns 57 very cleverly, very fleet-footed for the big man, and he's going to get a goal out of that. What a play by 57, Lucas Hibbs. Well built out of the back there for the Eagles through Williams. Williams, clever kick, and 57, Ibbs able to turn his opponent. Did so quickly, he was able to turn right on the flight of that ball and was able to collect it and immediately played on, put the ball on the side of his boot. That might be the goal of the tournament we've seen thus far.
Well, let's go back to where that started, because what looked like was going to be a big contest back at halfback. You saw Alex Foster, 24, kind of come in from the side and protect his teammate. That would go unheralded, but that started this heroic journey from one end to the other.
That was an unreal effort there from Ibbs. Really quality goal. That's going to lift his team. Seattle, however, gets the clearance, but intercepted beautifully. 32, that's Ben Ritchie on the halfback line there. He's just slipped right in front of the Seattle half forward. Ball up to half forward for the Eagles. Intercepted there by Seattle, but immediately wrapped up. The umpire, just over the boundary, signaled for a throw-in. So hot defense there. Seattle hoping to build the other direction on a rebound, but no time or space to play and tackled over the line. Boundary throw in here. The Rucks go up. Tap goes towards the boundary. Collected across the back by Seattle, and they're looking to switch play. Ball's over the heads of the two opponents here, but the cavalry comes. Now eventually picked up by DC. Kicked forward to half forward. There again, same as the last trip up the field. That's Quadri Williams. Nice delivery. Quadri's proud of himself there, and the ground's giving him high fives back.
Seattle trying to bite off quality kicks across the ground, but that's a lot to bite off. It's a high risk, high reward, and that time it got turned over, and it came back very quickly the same way as last time.
Quadri connecting through Ibbs last time, this time through Richards. Richards just a little less accurate, though. After the sliding catch, he kicks just wide left of the big sticks for a behind. Now DC setting up to defend the Seattle kick-in. Seattle kick-in going to the far side. Takes 5 meters and then releases. Finds the big man in, is that Carl McGough? If I got his number right. It was either McGough. Yeah, I think it was McGough, 21. Very clever pickup. He slipped out backwards, actually, running forward, but backwards in orientation, all the way up to the big man, Curtis. Curtis doing the work on the ground here, but gets tied up in the pocket. He shows a little bit of frustration punching the ground. He thought he could have picked that one up cleanly, and he nearly did.
I really like what Seattle's trying to do, and when they just find a target and they hit it, and sometimes they find a target, and if they don't take the mark, they pay the price, but they're living and dying by that style, which I really like.
Ball pinging around a bit in the Seattle forward 50 until it's collected by DC. Hands forward. slung as he kicks, but gets a minor clearance. DC tracking back well with the ball was Blumenshine. Ball quickly into the half-forward line, rolls inside 50. Seattle's going to collect here, 25 through Kinslow. Kinslow kicks towards the boundary, connects.
Another outlet to Chachi.
Yeah, there's Chachi again collecting that. Goes inboard, and we love to see that after you get that outlet pass coming back inboard through Pollock.
And his kick is just perfect.
Pollock wheels around, goes back up the boundary where they had numbers, but DC better to the task. And that was a perfectly weighted kick in between defenders so that DC could collect, but poor off the booty or ends up giving it right back.
Yep, that wasn't
right
even
back
the
to
right
Bridges.
Just watch this next kick. I would bet my commentator salary on this being a wonderful looking kick.
Big booming kick, and that plays to the Seattle strengths with their height. Big fly out of 4, Max Rennie. So Max's back might be feeling well enough to continue on.
Solly with a nice crumb, give back, moving it up the field.
Chachi again there with a crumb. He's racking up possessions. That's catching umpires' attention for best on ground votes, I'd imagine. 31 there with a nice track back. You love to see that. It's kind of like a back check in hockey for those that are kind of new to the sport. It's seeing those more forward lines of the ball running backwards to get involved and help gain possession.
I don't know what the hockey scene is out here in Tucson, but you're talking about cactus.
Arizona State has a team. It started up, I don't know, sometime in the last 20 years. Like, we always scratch our heads at hockey in the desert, but a competitive NCAA team in the hockey scene. Seattle getting pinned against the far side on account of DC's pressure, but a nice mark there.
Again, pure class from our number 12.
Didn't catch a number there, that might have been Robbie Hyde, number 2, leading out of the forward square. Nice flat delivery. Oh, and a beautiful lead from 57 from Curtis, the big man up front. That is exactly the playbook Seattle wants to execute on. They got it done perfectly there. DC not relenting much in the middle, but Seattle taking what's available to them on the far side. Happened a lot yesterday too. Some of the play just seemed to get pinned on that far side. Forces us to squint here a bit more out of the media booth. We'd prefer if the play was right in front of us, but that's where the players are comfortable. That's where the space is open.
Well, that's the style from Seattle that we've really enjoyed. They've just not gotten much reward on the scoreboard as yet. They're trying to just say, settle down, let's keep doing what we know how to do, and eventually it should pay off.
Curtis hanging his head a little there. He wanted to do better on that. So another behind results in a minor score for Seattle. So going to the Watch AFL scoreboard, 0-3-3. Seattle trails DC Eagles 2-2-14. Seattle still looking for that first major score. Know your times tables of 6s if you're going to watch Aussie rules. Snap kick there, let's see, off of 30. I don't have the number, I apologize.
Well, we Americans know our 7s timetables, usually up to about 49, but Aussies need to have their 6 timetables up to the 100 region. Very difficult.
Boundary throw from the extreme pocket, misses everybody that leaps. DC collects, smothered off the boot. Umpire yells play on. The player thought it was a mark, but no, has to play on. We get downfield for a push in the back. Seattle spoiled this mark here, but we're going to have a possession downfield to where the kick was headed.
Yeah, it should go to the guy there they were kicking to.
DC Brian Barish translating for the Americans out there, similar to the downfield call of a pass interference play. So pushing the back on the kicker, but gets awarded downfield since the kick was away. Big kick, and it's a little flat, doesn't travel real well, which also makes it hard to mark. It is fumbled, ball's on the ground. Picked up by 57 here, who wheels around a clever little snap kick. That's hard to do. He had to get Ibs there, had to get his hips all the way twisted around to make that work. Quadri Williams there getting involved. 2 possessions for him, but disappointing there across the face. He collected that ball over on the boundary here, Jason, in the forward pocket. He's getting involved a lot again, and then love that he followed that kick up.
Yep, and just again, the play in the middle, just one little fumble, and the ball's going the other direction, and Quadri Williams with a fantastic bump and spin move to keep it going.
Not nearly got himself a goal off the effort. Coach has got to love what he's seeing out of him. So much offensive production going through Williams at this point for DC. Ball in the middle of the field now. Seattle working hard to gain possession. Umpire awards a kick in the back. And that's Chachi again, I think.
running through. He just got pushed in the back on that handball delivery.
Gosh, a ton of play through him right now. Taking a while to get the ball back to him is helping DC get reset. 2 on the near side here. Robbie Hott is absolutely screaming for the switch of play. But a big kick to Curtis. Oh, he nearly marks it inside 50. That would have been the even better result than switching through Hyde. Hyde wanted that badly here right in front of us, but big lead by Curtis, big leap, and a big kick. Nearly came down with it.
Probably about 20 seconds left. We'll see if, I'm not sure they're aware of that, but we'll see if they can make a late threat here.
Curtis has kind of got to shake off a few little wobbles here in the first half. Hyde's ball squirts out here to Hyde finally, but doesn't do much with it. Quick hands twice, 3 times by Seattle. Now a snap kick inside 50. Oh, if he'd marked it, he might have been awarded that shot on goal. But that's the way it's going to end here. The first half siren after a bit of frantic play there towards the end. Watch AFL scoreboard finishes the first half. Seattle trailing 0-3-3 to DC Eagles 2-2-14 here at the 2025 USAFL National Tournament on AussieRulesUSA.com. Jason, quick thoughts on what we saw in the first half of play?
Again, really loving Seattle's style. They're just not getting the reward that they probably deserve on the scoreboard. And when DC gets it, they use their numbers and they move it quickly to the other end. And they certainly are happy with themselves at the moment.
Corrections that the Grizzlies have to do to hit the scoreboard here and possibly put a nose in front. What are they going to have to do in the second half?
Again, I like what they've been doing. They just haven't gone through the big sticks. They've had points where they, eventually just keep shooting and eventually they'll go in, would be my thought.
All right, great. We'll take a break here at the 2025 USAFL National Tournament Division II game, Seattle Grizzlies versus the DC Eagles. We'll be back in a few moments after a word from our sponsors. Welcome back to the 2025 USAFL National Tournament from Tucson, Arizona. We're at the Kino Sports Complex, the South Campus here. Gorgeous setup with the backdrop of the Santa Catalina Mountains that we're looking at to the north here. Beautiful day as well. We've got a men's Division II contest here at halftime, about to enter the second half. Seattle Grizzlies and the DC Eagles. This is a semifinal match. Winner goes on to the final. In Aussie parlance, this is a prelim being contested here in front of us. Great first half of play. Hard football, which we enjoyed seeing. Jason, quick thoughts coming out of the halftime break and what we might see in the second.
I think these teams are very even. Right now the scoreboard favors DC 14-3, but I wouldn't doesn't mean that they've been dominating the play necessarily. And I did have a chat with Seattle Huddle just now to find out number 12's name. His nickname is Bank, as in money in the bank.
Got it. Clearance there, right off the tap. Seattle's favor. They collect at forward 50. They've got numbers and they've got hands right now. Off the boot. Going to stay in bounds. No, it will not. So that off of boot of, no, that is not accurate. Excuse me, 43. Jim Ortel goes out on the full, so we'll have a kick in from a ball out on the full here from DC. Big kick. And that's going to be Seattle's advantage. We talked about their height advantage on the field, so the longer and higher the kicks are, is going to favor Seattle. That's why DC has done a good job in the first half. Is that a tackle? No, but push in the back. He didn't wrap him and roll him enough, pushed him in the back. Saleh Taebji. Seattle plays on very quickly, but no, intercepted by 53 there of the DC Eagles. Riley Naughton in the back. Called his name a few times. He's been an effective defender for them. Ball out on the far side on the switch of play. Seattle collects after the contest. Goes inside 50. Oh, slips through the hands of the forward there. Ball's on the ground. He's getting held. Nope, he calls it high. Doesn't matter. It's a bad penalty. And there we are. Is that Banks?
Yep, Banksy again, earning the free kick.
So Banksy here. Thanakan Chiachana, if I'm pronouncing his name right. That's probably why they go with Banks, because I'm sure I'm not saying that properly, but he has been all over the ground today, and he'll have a shot on goal here. He's lining it up, making sure he's on target, has the compass calibrated.
He is a fantastic kick of the footy. I will try not to curse him.
For his size, he gets a ton of distance on the ball. That ball sails at least 15 meters clear, probably 20 clear of the back of the goal for a major, and that is a great start to the second half for the Seattle Grizzlies.
That goal umpire did not move.
Working through Banks, worked for them in the first half. Offensive production coming now in the second. So the Watch AFL scoreboard now 1 goal, 3-9. Seattle trails 2-14 for DC. Equal numbers of scoring chances there, but DC in front by virtue of one straighter kick, and we'll have a ball up in the middle.
Yeah, we said that at the top of the second half that the game looked pretty even. It's just because it was 2 goals. Now it's just 1.
The Rucks go to the tap, collected around the back by Seattle, immediately put upon. Oh, he bent over awkwardly backwards. We're going to check his knees. Okay, nope, yeah. He's holding it immediately. He went down extremely awkwardly in that tackle. The umpire has signaled. Even the DC Eagles guys stopped immediately.
Yeah, they could tell he was having a swing at the footy, but he couldn't get his foot out from underneath him, and he just ended up sitting on his own ankle there and holding his right knee.
He got pulled down, ankle twisted a little awkwardly. We saw the knee twist. I don't even need a replay to see that. Jason, you and I both played for a long time, and I think one of the unfortunate parts is you have an appreciation for the types of injuries that occur, and the way he bent.
Yeah, that one.
I'm no doctor, but I'm not going to be surprised if that's long-term ligament damage.
Yeah, I'm just hoping, and I'm no doctor either, Dan. But it looked like maybe the medial just opened up a little bit. Hopefully that's all it is. But the knee is a complicated joint, and that was fairly awkward.
Yeah.
So they're going to stop time here.
He's sitting up. Yeah, we're going to have an injury stoppage. The players are going to gather around and grab some water. He's on his feet, very, very gingerly, not putting any weight on that. Oh, and we're going to hope he's okay. I haven't even been able to see a number yet properly.
He was just trying to get that kick away, and his foot just got stuck underneath.
Yeah, put upon immediately, and that's full contact sports have these types of injuries that happen. Apologies, I still don't have a name for you. Jason, you keep an eye on that. If we can get a jumper for him.
Yeah, looking.
He's getting
he's got too much attention around him for me to even see who he is.
And here's an example of the USAFL community. One of the Golden Gate Roos comes over to help him off the ground. They see each other probably a half a dozen times during the year out here on the West Coast, helping him off the ground. A lot of brotherhood here amongst the teams. Certainly tempers flare from time to time on the field, but we'll have the restart here. So the tackle was awarded, so DC kick. We're going to hope he's all right. And a mark to Seattle here in the back. They look to play out wide on the far side. There's a bit of DC's playbook, little 20-meter, 30-meter kicks, the effective high percentage ones, especially when executed properly. Nice touch on both of those. This one heading up the line. Players fly. Ball is in dispute. Seattle comes away with it. That's Saleh Taibbi, a two-time all-world player at the International Cup. He targets Curtis, and you can see why he was an all-world player. Took that mark, wheeled around. He found his target and was sure to hit him.
Even at his advanced years, it just looked like he had time. You know, like kind of like Pendlebury would.
Yeah,
you know.
Losing a step doesn't mean you lose your footy smarts, and he knew exactly what to do to execute in that situation, and he did it. So Curtis shot on goal here, the southpaw, or south foot as it were.
Bit of a helicopter kick crosses the face of goal, and that's marked by DC in the back line.
So he sprayed that one across the face. DC's going to come back out this side. Drifts a little more to the center of the ground. Dangerous spot because they're in their defensive end. Seattle collects that ball. DC gets it back moving forward again, though. Not on the tackle. We're going to contest this on the ground. Drags it around with the foot. Seattle's the one willing to go down and pick it up, though, and they get the forward 50 entry because of it. 46. Nice little bump on the ground from Cox. They paid a push.
I think that's
push
harsh.
In the back. That was a bit harsh. I thought he used his body really well to clear space.
It was his only body, and it fell in his lap.
Todd here and doesn't know it yet. That's a high tackle, but doesn't get awarded. He was way over the top of his shoulder, giving him a bit of an ear massage in the middle of that, out on the full. So unlucky result for Seattle there. Probably could have had a free kick. They end up kicking it out on the full immediately afterwards. Cox dealt a little stiffly on that call, I thought. Oh, big fly here from the Grizzly. He was undercut a bit, and the umpire probably could have looked at that because there was no effort of the DC player on the ground.
He dragged it in!
And that's for Max Rennie again, falling awkwardly after his back injury in the first half. He's got to be unhappy that he wasn't protected because he had eyes on the football and was in the air when he was undercut.
Yeah, and I could hear Austin Cox's thoughts on that. How about at the other end, mate?
Yeah, Blumenshine, here right in front of us with the forward 50 entry. Ball's on the ground. DC picks up quickly and snaps straight to boot, inaccurately, unfortunately. Williams was there, not able to bring it down either. That's the rush of being under pressure, but he did the right thing, I think, Jason, just picking up the ball and immediately snapping it to the boot. That's a good chance on goal, but misses everything.
That's been more DC's style, get it along quickly, where Seattle's tried to possess it a bit more.
Right, Seattle's had the game on their terms, I think, the second part of the first half and the beginning part here. DC just looking a little unsettled. That ball out on the far side. Taibbi on probably about a 30 to 40 meter lead is exactly in the right spot, collects that. Gosh, he's got a smooth drop of the football. Oh, he hits Banks on an absolute perfect lead, who actually is a great leaper as well. We saw that very early in the game. He was a 1-on-2. That through Curtis, just barely inside 50. Curtis plays on, which is the right choice since he's missed some kicks today.
That's the possession game we were talking about. They just went right down the far wing, and Saleh was uncontested, and then Banksy made it look uncontested even though he was, and then he hit a nice target.
Jeez, you're hearing the key names for Seattle pop up in that sequence. Taibbi, Banks, Curtis making a great choice there. He was a little far out. He's had some inaccuracy. He handballs away on that for them to convert the goal. So Seattle hits the front by 1 point now on the Watch AFL scoreboard. 2 goals, 3-15 to 2-2-14 leads DC. DC looking really flat in the second half.
They did it in exactly the style we've been commending, which they hadn't been rewarded for terribly much, and that was, we'd call a hero's journey from one end to the other.
Yeah, they started out, walked all the way to Mordor and back on that one. Oh, big effort by Banks. Couldn't quite get there. He's got good pace. He's an all-around player, isn't he, even for his size? He leaps well, he kicks well, he travels well on the ground. He's a big booming kick, has a shot on goal. Here he does.
There's another point.
Just a point, so Seattle putting pressure on the sticks. DC would be feeling that. Watch AFL scoreboard, 2-4-16. Seattle leads now as they add a point to 2-2-14 for DC. DC will kick out of the back here. Fullback surveying his options. That's Maxfield that runs his 10, kicks long. That ball up into the edge of the center square, but Seattle collects around the back, and they're going straight back in. Kicks a little wildly, ended up being right back to Maxfield. If there weren't 32 other players on the park, I think those two right there were just playing kick back and forth.
Little uncharacteristic of Seattle in this game. Little off-brand to kick blindly into the forward end, but they're blocking the exits well, and they're penetrating the kicks in. And here's Banksy again. He's going to have a long run up, and we'll see what he can do with this.
Yeah, with the exception of that last one, they really have played their identity well. Curtis on the lead again. Oh, just barely with fingertips. 77, that was DC. Probably saved a mark there in forward 50 and Zane Zovac. Well done to Zane on that because Curtis was coming. That would have fell right into his basket behind Zovac had he not gotten hands to that.
It's a good idea, but a bit congested up there.
So we'll have a boundary throw there about halfway out, 25 meters out. The rucks go up. It accidentally falls into the hands of Foster. Ball goes to boot, lands right on the 50 line, and is tied up immediately. Both sides, Jason applying quite a bit of pressure. DC, I think, squirted away more often in the first half. Seattle seems to be doing that better and just getting a little bit more free play in the second, but generally we're seeing the ball get tied up fairly quickly in when those packs form.
Yeah, this is a great tug of war in the second half. 2-point lead to Seattle at the moment, probably about 8-9 minutes to go.
So we are in a tight contest here, just 2 points in it on the Coopers field today. I want to thank our sponsors, Coopers, Tasmanian. A little blurb about Tasmanian wine here. A wine industry internationally respected for cool climate wine. You can try a glass today of their sparkling Tasmanian wine from Jan's, available at the beer tent. There's a lot of folks that are looking forward to a fresh beverage here and enjoy the second day of the tournament.
While you're making me thirsty, Seattle decided to try to switch play in the middle of the ground. It worked out pretty well. They've gotten the ball up to the forward pocket yet again.
Yeah, pinned down, no score there, but out of bounds just next to the goal stick. So we'll have a boundary throw in a very dangerous spot for them. The ruckman tap. Oh, Banksy sneaks through. The fullback was running backwards from DC and just got outraced to the goal line. Banks squeaks through. We've praised him all day. The umpires have to notice that he's maybe a front runner for the best on ground votes in this. My goodness, what an effort from him. Turns on the Jets. He found that fifth gear because he saw the reward at the end of that. Reaches out with the boot and gets toe to ball just before that crosses the line. Goal umpire there was in great position to reward that effort.
You're right.
They hit.
DC was about to punch that through for a point, and Banksy came in a journey of, I would say, equal parts hope and self-discovery to get the major.
So the Watch AFL scoreboard, 3-4-22 to 2-2-14. Seattle out in front now by more than a full score. They collect the ball off the ruck tap. They got to be feeling good about themselves. Big torpedo down into the goal square. Curtis flies. It was even over his head. He's the tallest bloke on the ground. Handball from DC. They're trying to clear the back lines. Ball on the ground here. Picked up, handball forward. Umpire says, was he flung afterwards? Yes. So we're going to have a DC kick. Pays it downfield. We're not getting the signals we need to actually clarify what was happening. Looks like one of the trainees, the secondary umpire, came in and clarified their things there for us. Up the far boundary. Contest again, the ball's on the ground. Seattle been the better of the teams in the second half, picking the ball up on the ground and getting moving forward.
Well, they're truly up and about right now, but don't underestimate DC's ability to just surprise you quickly. So this is definitely not over. It's an 8-point lead to Seattle.
DC needs to apply more pressure to Seattle, especially to the back of that pack where Seattle is collecting the football often.
Another centering ball up forward.
Soccered off, but touched immediately, so there's no mark. That ball kicks away. So soccered again to his own advantage. It's Burgess. Burgess waiting for some help, and his patience maybe get awarded, but smothered on a great individual effort. And he's running hard. Tries to avoid the push in the back. His 93 here. Matt Zappel, the ball rolls over the line within Burgess's grasp. Good result actually for both sides. Burgess gained territory on that really well. The one-on-one contest with Zappel, if I'm pronouncing it right, came all the way from the fullback line to make that contest. DC gains ground, collects the ball at the back of the pack, snap into the middle of the field. It hangs in the air too long. No mark taken, but DC has the numbers, 19 running forward with Lack. Lack inside 50 connects there, 57 with Ibbs. Haven't heard or seen from Ibbs since that goal in the first half. He's within range here, gets underneath it a little bit. Does it have the carry? It might, not touched, bounces in the field of play over the whole pack.
That's the alternate style we were just talking about with how quickly DC can get it from one end to the other.
So they're getting back to their identity, the DC Eagles are. Seattle catches a breath here, a little bit of direction out of their fullback. They want to see the kick in. He trots forward out of the goal square, takes 5 meters and has a kick. Nice short 25-meter kick, but it's dropped. Play on, says the umpire. Accurately, 32 is not on our roster, so I don't have a name for him. Apologize for that's the captain there in Rennie. Rennie's back, injured in the first half. He's gritting his way through this contest. Intercept on halfback line from DC. Fly too early was Blumenshine. And the ball trickles over the boundary there. Fitzpatrick has it as he's swung out of bounds. We'll have a boundary throw. Go ahead, Jason.
It was a great defensive intercept mark by DC as Seattle's trying to work it back up the ground the way they have been. But great hands.
Arnie Landbo there in the ruck. Certainly contesting Curtis for tallest man on the ground. Boy, that's some tall timber in there for Seattle. They're getting used to the ball first when it's in flight, and they've been the better team in the second half on the ground as well with collecting possessions. DC looking to tie it up here. Seattle gaining a couple meters at a time. Oh, he was flung without the ball. Umpire missed it. Ball squirts away. 99 is Blumenshine again. He's quick to play on. Fleet-footed for his size. Oh, well done. Is that Williams?
Oh, it's touched.
Oh, it was touched just barely.
But that's almost what they want, Dan, with being down 7 points. Get one here and try to lock it in for a goal.
You're
that's how you tie the game, the old 7-point play.
Get 7-point play here, maybe an 8-point play.
They're down by 6 at the moment.
So down by one straight kick, 3-4-22. Seattle leads DC 2-4-16 on the Watch AFL scoreboard. Some tense minutes here. Seattle trying to build around the back. They switch play to the preferred side of the ground, which seems to be the far side away from us. Keeps our old eyes squinting a little more to see numbers through the traffic on the far side.
It's going to be a nervous 3 minutes for both sides.
Middle of the ground here. DC collects, gets the ball moving forward. Seattle hasn't seen their forward into the ground for a few minutes. DC's happy about that. They awarded a free kick for a...
Holding the man.
We have holding the man. Jason saw it. The umpire didn't give us the signal. He's trying to direct. Here, we're probably, the man standing on the mark's at 57 meters, so he's way out. Ooh, he's going to be close to the mark. Releasing this is that Blumenshine again. Big fly from the big men. Ball knocked loose back in the pocket. Seattle collects, run 2 meters, handball. Collects again, run 2 meters, handball. Collects, bigger handball this time, clears the lines. He was held but yells play on. Actually an injury for the DC player in that. I think he took an elbow high. He's holding his head.
They wanted a free. They didn't get it, but it didn't really affect the play, but they are down a guy now.
It was right in front of the DC bench, those players all saw it clearly. A physio out. Not sure if we're going to get a stoppage for this from the umpire, stop of the clock or not. Physio's out. He drags himself to his feet. That's number 3, Luke Meyer, who copped a good one across the face. Missed call by the umpire. Again, yeah, as Jason said, no effect on the play. Is that Burgess? I think 7 Burgess. We can't see a number, but I think that's Burgess. I recognize him. That's got the kick here. He'll release from 50. Big kick. He gets underneath it a bit. I don't know if it's got the travel. Tayebji on the goal line to punch it back through. Well done to Saleh to only concede 1.
If that had gone through, it would have tied the game. Now it's a
5-point game. This gets super interesting.
You called the potential for an 8-point play, so we're not quite sure how much time is left. We can see the clock running up, but we don't know if they've taken time off for that short
gotten
injury.
The 2 points they needed. for the front end of the 8-point play. So 3-4-22, 2-5-17. DC pushing hard to try to get a nose in front, but Seattle leading for right now, trying to hold on. The ball's on the ground, pops loose. DC collects, running backwards. They've got a man sweeping around the back. He's got extra help to mop up even more. It was 77. Zovac.
It's only about 30 seconds left if we don't count what there might be.
Beautiful cutoff back there from Ben Ritchie on the intercept mark on the far side. He had to run hard to get in front of that Seattle player.
Seattle trying to keep it out of their defensive end. If DC can get it in, they would have a crack to steal a victory here. But guess who?
Banksy running loose as the ball slips out of the pack. He gains about 40 meters. The ball's on the ground through 57. Curtis. Big man's done well on the ground today for as tall as he is. He bends over and picks up the ball pretty well. The only chink in his armor today has been his straight kicking.
That may have saved the day to just get the ball down the field. We'll see how much time is left. But fair to say, after Banksy's performance, it'd be 3 votes to Jay Viney.
Great reference there, and the shocked looks go round the room at the Brownlow. Ball knocked forward. Seattle in possession here in the forward 50. Big snap on the boot. He throws it on. Umpire is in position. Ball bounces back in play. Curtis collects it, but immediately put upon by the defender. 24. That was Alex Foster. So it was a big snap kick. Just didn't travel, and it was going into the wind. The wind might knock that back a little bit. Wide open forward 50 by the time Seattle got the ball up there because they hadn't been there in a while. Curtis flies, taps to actually his own advantage in the end. Banks put upon quickly, ball over the boundary, and Seattle's hoping
to throw in
to just take time off the clock here. Might have been awarded deliberate, and there is the siren. Seattle holds on so very narrowly, DC pushing hard towards the end. So Seattle headed to the grand final for Division II. What a great result from them. They got the work done early, held on late on the Watch AFL scoreboard. The final here, 3-4-22 Seattle to 2-5-17 DC. Whew. Heart rate's up a little bit, Jason.
They stuck to their game plan like they only know how, and it did eventually pay off on the scoreboard. And boy, they did hang on, and that was a tight finish and a really well-fought game.
So we saw 2 really quality sides here in this Division II semifinal in Yank terms, a prelim final in Aussie parlance. A couple of DC Eagles complaining a little bit to the umpires afterwards here, I see in the middle of the ground, but it's not going to matter as Seattle advances out of this. They were the top in their pool, and you would have tipped them to go through, but DC giving them all they could handle. Very nearly off the boot of Williams had he gotten there. Could have hit the front and potentially nipped him at the line, but wasn't to be for the DC Eagles here today. We're going to take a break here on AussieRulesUSA.com from the 2025 USAFL National Tournament, Tucson, Arizona. It's been a gorgeous morning. We got 2 in the bag. We got quite a few more coming. A little bit to sort out yet for a few rounds before we hit the deciders here midday and in the afternoon. Looks like Golden Gate striding on the field to start their warm-up here for the next match. Jason, thanks for joining me on that one.
I'll just give you one comment on the umpires. It certainly looks like there's about 1,000 umpires here at times, but I talked to Jeff Person, Director of Umpires USAFL, last night. A couple of statistics. There are 65 umpires here getting 4 fields to run. They're working all day through 400 individual assignments. That's field, boundary, and goal umpires.
Unbelievable. Good on them for that.
There just is no game without the umpires, even though we all think we are at points.
That's a big spreadsheet. We're going to take a break here from the 2025 USAFL National Tournament. We'll be back in a little bit. Join us.